Part 5 in this stretching session. I'm going to use the rope again, and you'll see I have two mats crisscrossed because I'm going to change my position depending on what I think is the better angle for the video camera. You don't need two. You can just use one. Now, this is going to be mainly lower body. There will be one twist, which means involving the spine, and this has been considered by some to be advanced. So maybe some of these are not suitable if you're just beginning with this stretching stuff. So the first two, I think everyone can do. The last two, I'm gonna say you have to be your own judge to decide whether or not you can do it. So, lying down on your back. Here I have the rope again. You can use a towel, hose, a belt, or a tie. First stretch, you're just going to put the rope around your feet. And here it is. I have my knee bent. Lower back problems, how you would probably want to choose to be. If your lower back is fine, then you can straighten that leg. So here I have my hands holding on to the rope. It's comfortable. I have the knots between these two fingers, and I'm completely relaxed. Feeling a stretch on the back part of my leg. And you might find that you can bring your leg a little bit closer to your upper body if you find things that start to relax and release in the back part of your leg. And being a comfortable position, you can hold this for easily 1 or 2 minutes. I won't, because it'll waste your time watching the video and it'll waste battery life. So you see how I switched? I just brought the other leg up. Same suggestions apply. If your lower back is sore, keep this leg bent, foot flat on the floor. If everything is fine, straighten that right leg. And here it is, position 1. You want to kind of have a little bit of a bend in excuse me. There's very little knee. So the chance of injuring those back ligaments is very small. So this is the one stretch where I will say it might be okay for the leg to be straight. Depends on your knee. Maybe you have problems with one or both of your knees. And remembering, keep the shoulders relaxed. If you feel the leg opening up, the muscle getting relaxed, you might be able to bring the leg closer to your chest. Or you and you can also do both legs at the same time. All of these that I'm doing, you can also do against a wall. No, it won't be all, it'll be the first two. The last two you cannot do against the wall. You can imagine that there's a wall right and I'm resting my legs against the wall. So that's the first one. Now the second one, you can put the rope in one hand as you move. I'm going to move my left leg, cross it over. I'm going to rotate so you can see. So I've moved the left leg now, and I like to have about 1/3 of the lower leg on the outside of the knee and 2/3 on the other side of the knee. And here's your position. Now you get the back of the right leg, and you're also getting the back hip of the left leg and the glute. If your knee has issues, you can support the knee with your hand. And to balance, I would do the same thing. I'll get my left leg back up in the rope. Bring my said 1/3 of the leg on this side of the knee, 2/3 on this side. And what you can do, if you have the flexibility in this area, the glute and the hip and the outside of the leg, you can bend that knee, which brings your bent leg closer to your chest, which means you're lengthening these muscles even more, makes the stretch more intense. Shoulders are relaxed, and breathing, as always, deep and relaxed. So that was the first two that I believe everyone can do. These next two, possibly not suitable for you right now, depending on your level. With full flexibility, you could grab the big toe with these two fingers and do the motion with the hand connected to the foot. If you don't have full flexibility, use the rope. So I straighten this leg. I'm going to put the rope in my right hand, and I'm going to go sideways again so you can see what's happening. I'm going to gently lower my right leg. First that connects to the ground is my elbow and upper arm, and then I'll lower as much as I can, supporting my leg with the rope. And many times I'll put my left hand on the left hip to remind myself that this hip also needs to stay on the ground. Don't lift it up. So I'll use my hand as a reminder. And this muscle right here is working to hold that hip flat on the ground. So maybe your right leg will reach the ground, maybe it won't. I don't suggest you hold this for too long because it is quite intense. And to bring your leg back up, the easiest way is to bend that knee and then bring it up. Okay? Now, we're going to do a twist, and I lift my hips and move them a few centimeters to the right. I'll take the rope in my left hand, and controlling the motion, my left arm has reached the ground, so it's helping to support, and the rope guides my leg into a fairly deep twist. Bringing the breath as low as possible and trying to keep opposite shoulder flat on the ground. You can consider having something underneath your foot, like a stool or a thick cushion, to help you keep this right shoulder on the ground. Again, fairly intense, so you might not want to hold it for too long. 20-30 seconds. Bend the knee. Bring yourself back up. And then you would move your hips back to center. I'll show you with the next leg what happens if I don't move my hips. But starting off with the first stretch, again repeating, if you have full flexibility, you can connect with your two fingers. If you don't, use the rope. Now the rope goes in my left hand, controlling the lower. First to reach the ground is my arm, and then I lower my leg to a point that's comfortable, remembering, I'm getting a slight cramp right here, remembering to keep this right hip flat on the ground. It's also really nice opening up in this area right here. 20 or 30 seconds. Then you bend your knee, bring the leg back up. Now I'll show you what happens if I don't move my hips. If I go into the twist, you'll see that my body isn't straight, of curved. So the difference would be I move my hips 2-3 centimeters to the left, and then I lower, and you'll see that my body is in a straight line. Bringing the leg down as comfortable as possible, maintaining this shoulder flat on the ground. And if you want to involve the neck and the head, you would rotate the head to the left, bringing that left ear close to the ground. And releasing on the stretch, bend that knee and bring your leg up. And then you'd move your hips those 2 or 3 centimeters back to center.